When you do a lot of deals, like we are fortunate to do, both in Germany and across Europe, and especially if you have a permanent European comparative, you do see the differences in interest or in change of things becoming a seller's market, not so much only in the pricing, but also in the risks that you need to take on board, both in the process side, like you were saying, Basler Zuflin, the due diligence phase, which is crazy to do that, but that's got to be one hell of an asset that you're buying there. But so what you have is you have an increased co-exclusivity, i.e. you're spending money not knowing if you're going to get the deal. Then you have to commit to heads of terms very early, not having done your DD. Your access to documentation starts becoming more and more limited. The things and the reps and warranties that maybe used to be 10-15% are now 5 to 10. Yeah? So the imminent within buying something, the risks that you're actually taking on board are increasing to extreme levels at the moment, considering where we've come from post-finance or post-financial crisis. So those are things that, especially if you're hitting these markets for the first time, and unless you're used to those standards, like you are maybe in the US, where you have down payments, we're coming to periods where we're getting down payments of 10-15%, non-recoverable, which nobody would have done in Germany ever in the last 5 years. And now is what the buyers or sellers expecting. So these are the risk things that will have an impact on your IRR and on your income and on your returns if you're not careful that you're pricing these things in and just ignoring them, because those are the ones that'll nip you in the bud down the line. And I think that is, again, underneath the layer of transactions being done and income being, that's really something that's pushing buyers into a higher risk curve, even within whatever asset class they're buying in and whatever risk class they're buying in. So there's this underlying readjustment of risk returns imminent within a buying process, which shouldn't be left out of scope, I guess. So don't accept it when you're buying. Keep the sellers under pressure, unless you're buying from me.
For example, on the retail front, many vendors are, for example, remembering that they also have a center management unit, or they're even creating one and trying to form a business unit out of it and making it a condition on the sale of their assets that you're keeping the center management for like 5 or 10 years, and those companies are not ECE or MFI or formerly MFI, they're just smaller or newly built companies. And then, of course, you as a portfolio manager with 15 different assets could end up having 15 different managers, which I don't have to tell you, that's not efficient. So you have to be very vigilant and have to be very, very tough on those conditions, because I just want to open another profit line. And also on the other hand, of course, the private sector, there are many people who want to optimize their returns by doing crazy share deals, and then when you ask about latent capital gains, they ask you, what are you talking about? And so those tendencies in the market are clearly indicating it's a seller's market, but institutional investors like ourselves just can't do those deals. We can compromise a little bit on the returns and have a little higher costs on the running side maybe, but we cannot justify to take any crazy risks with buying corporate units, for example, that formerly was a cookie company or something like that, which was just offered to me last week, where we should have bought a cookie company with formerly thousands of people working for it. It's just not possible. Yeah.
Of course, it's difficult to realize the processes now. We see a lot of co-exclusivity and so on. That's crazy to handle. And also we have some surprising situation in the process. Suddenly we have an exclusivity in place, but there's a better option came on, and then the seller say, oh, sorry, but now I'm discussing with another party. And so we see total different processes now, and that's not really a positive development.